My name is Devin Miller. I am the clerk for the City of Perry, and today I would like to answer some questions that have been called into the city and to help our city registered voters be able to vote absentee. First of all, there was a dual application that was mailed out to a lot of people in March and also in August. A lot of you checked to receive a ballot for March and November or August and November. So your applications should already be with the city clerk. And so your ballots will be coming. To the biggest question that's been called into our office right now is when will we receive our ballot? According to law, every election, clerks will receive their ballots 45 days prior to the election. Now, the reason for this is that at every government level, whether it's federal, state, local proposals, your college candidates, all of the boards that are on there, they have deadlines that they're able to be placed on the ballot. So to allow all that information and the process of petitioning and all of the government levels to get that on the ballot, all ballots are 45 days. So at this election, the clerk shall receive the ballots by September 19th. Once we get those, then we will be processing all the applications that we've received. I've also had a question of when to put your ballot or your application in. We recommend that you do your application now. The application will help all of us clerks in Shiawassee County to determine how many absentee ballots to actually order. Now, we receive all of our ballots according to all of our registered voters, but we also, at the 45 days, we get our count of absentees. Now, we always do our numbers and we compare to other elections, so we always have plenty, but the more applications we have on file prior to that will help us. Now, another thing that is a question on filling out an application. Now that we have no reason to be able to ask for an absentee ballot, there are so many new people that are using this resource, and I'm so grateful to see it. So I have two documents in front of me, and we have an absentee application that you can receive from our office, and then I have an application that you can get online. Now, the absent voter application that you receive from the City of Perry, we will ask certain questions when you request an application. Of course, it's your first and last name. We will verify your resident address. We will also verify that we have your proper mailing address. Sometimes that does not get updated on our end, so it's important that we ask that. Also, expect that I will also ask your birth date, only because if there's a junior or senior in your household or somebody of the same name, it verifies that we are sending an application to the proper person. When you get the application, you will see there is a number 1 that is highlighted. This is where you sign and date. This is verifying that you're a United States citizen. Number two is to be completed in a circumstance where you will not be at your residence to receive the ballot. This is a temporary address. So if you happen to be a college student, if you happen to be a vacationer that goes for several months to the south or north, this is something you would fill out for us to know where to properly send your ballot. And last is number 3. It asks for your date of birth, print your name, your registered address for absent voter. Now, mind you, when it's asking you for that address, it's not asking for your mailing address. It wants to verify that you live in the City of Perry, not your P.O. box. We want your resident address. And then on the bottom is, again, it's asking for your signature. And if you've ever voted in person, and you notice on your application on the very bottom, it's the same little application that you fill when you come in person and vote. We actually tear the bottom off once the ballot comes to the actual election day, and that goes into the spindle like everybody who votes in person. So once you've filled this out, you will make sure on the top part where we've entered your name that your mailing address is correct. If it is not correct, please give us the information and make sure it gets to City Hall. Once we receive the application, there is a process that we go through. We use the state website, QVF, and we go through and we make sure that the signature that you signed matches that signature to make sure it is you. Then we go through the process and we actually go through and get you a ballot. Now, when we process the ballot for you, there's a secrecy sleeve, you'll have a ballot, and you also have directions on the election of what you should be looking for to fill out on that ballot, telling you that there's proposals, telling you whether it's a split ticket, a mixed ticket. It'll give you all the directions of what you should be looking for and how you should vote this ballot. Once you vote the ballot, please put it back in the secrecy sleeve. The next envelope that you'll have is a green envelope. Now the green envelope, as you can see, is already addressed to the city clerk, and there will also be a stamp for you to return it. On this side, it is very important, and we cannot accept your ballot if you do not sign this section. I will note that on this application process, not to go back, if you would like to give contact information, that is not mandatory, but it is helpful because when you forget to sign your ballot, our office does everything in its effort to email you to let you know, to call you, or if there is enough time, we will mail that ballot back to you and ask you to sign it. We don't want anybody's vote not to count. Once you have it signed, please seal. So you'll put your ballot inside, you will seal it, and it's ready to go. Once we receive the ballot, it's coming in, we check when it was returned, what time it was returned, and then it goes through QVF, we pull your application, and we compare your signatures again. We make sure that it is you. This is how we verify it. Now, again, I want to give some information about how to get the application process. If you go to the city website, if you go directly to perry.mi.us Department City Clerk, a lot of the information and questions can be answered right there. There is an application. Once I receive a sample ballot, you'll have a view of the sample ballot of the election that is in place. You will also have a couple of places if you have questions. For example, another popular question is whether they're registered to vote. You can call my office and we will look it up to see if you're registered with the City of Perry. But also, on the website, you'll see Michigan Voter Information Center. If you click on that link, it is a very good website that the state has set up. It answers several questions. It offers you the opportunity to register to vote. It offers you the opportunity when you check to see if you're registered. If you are, it'll tell you that you are, where to vote, who to call, who your clerk is, and so that you can follow up and know your information. You also can get an application through that website. This application will be asking for first name, middle initial, last name, county, city or township, your street address, and zip code, your year of birth. It will also ask you for future elections, complete and join permanent list. I want to vote absentee in all future elections. Automatically send me an application for every election. What does this mean? Well, this means that if you want an application sent to you for every election, you check this. You do not have to request it anymore. This does not mean that you will receive a ballot. This only means that you receive an application. You have the choice to ask for a ballot or not. And there are a lot of people that do not vote on every election, and so when they receive the application, they just do not return it. But if you choose to get a ballot, you must, for every election, fill out an application, and you'll need to complete Section 1, possibly Section 2, that is up to you. Section 3 has to be completed. And then Section 4 is, again, just like the clerk's application. That section is for if you would temporarily be out of your residency to receive the ballot, and you would want us to actually send it to it. And then number 5, please note you can get assistance in doing your application and returning the application. And if you follow the directions, it is very clear on who and can help assist you, and that information can be filled out. Now, the last thing I do want to let people know is there has been conversation on the post office. We have had very good work with our local postmaster in working with us. I will let you know that they do have a delay. They cannot meet the actual deadline to get the ballot back to my office in enough time by the election due to their rules. So the last day that we can send out a ballot that's requested by an application is the Friday prior to the election. So if I sent it out on Friday, that allows Saturday that it would be going through the mail, and there's a good chance that you would not receive it. I highly request that if you decide to do that, to please come in person and request a ballot. Now, also, when you're on that timeline and it's very close to the election, when you're getting into that last week, we have options on how you can get the ballot back to us without having to use the post office. We have a locked drop box that we use for our utility bills that is plenty ample to handle the ballots that are in front of us. You can put it in our drop box. We are open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. unless there's a holiday, and you may walk it in. Now, ballots can be delivered by anybody in your household. It does not have to be you. And I must add that another question that's been asked because of the post, we have a few that have requested that ballots by absentee be not put through the mail. We have no problem with that. But this application is stating that you want us to mail the ballot. You'll have to personally request that you want us to hold your ballot for you to pick them up. So we will make notes on that. And we have had a few voters at this time that have asked that we will come and get them. Note that when you come to get your ballot, we have to verify it's you. We will ask for your driver's license to make sure that the ballot we're giving you is you. You cannot take anybody else's ballot home with you either. They have to personally come in. We are mandated by law that we give the ballot to that person or we mail it to them. There are only two options. I trust you that our office, and I'm very proud of the clerks in Shiawassee County, that we work diligently to do everything in our power to work for our voters, to make them count, to make it right. If you have any questions, please call your local clerk, find out their hours, and any questions you have, they should be able to follow up. If they don't have the answer, the state of Michigan, the workers that work for them are excellent on answering our questions, and we will get back with you with your answer. I thank you for your time, and please consider voting for your November election. Thank you.